What's up everybody, it's Broken Bones here and welcome to Broken's Bedrock Tutorials. Today we're going to be showing you how to build the superior nether tree blaster. This is a fully AFK-able farm. It will provide enough fungus to go ahead and keep you busy planting, and as you can see it'll wash it right down into here where you can choose if you want red or blue fungus, and then you can go ahead and plant whatever you choose. The fungus gets dispensed to the player plants the fungus, and then the fungus grows into a nether tree, and then this giant piston wall pushes it out into a TNT blaster that just pretty much blows it up as it gets pushed out. I call this my superior nether tree blaster because it is superior. It hooks up to the superior moss farm for endless bone meal. This thing right here is a shulker box and loader. It will go ahead and take shulker boxes of bone meal coming from the moss farm, and then when they're empty it'll send them right back to the farm to be refilled. And if you don't already have that farm, then I'll leave a link to that tutorial up in the top right hand corner. I want to give a big shout out to my buddy Nebrian Cent for coming out with this TNT blaster. He built this and then I had to double it up because it couldn't keep up with the farm. The farm was a little bit too fast for it. So we put two here where we toggle back and forth between the top one and the bottom one, and between the two it keeps up and blasts all the blocks out of the farm. And after all the items get blasted, they all get thrown down below, down into the catch basin, where they go down into your storage system. And your storage system could be a lot more elaborate than just a few chests. And if you guys want to put shulker box loaders down here, which I highly recommend it, then I'll leave a link to my ultimate shulker box loading guide up in the top right hand corner. It'll show you all the different cool shulker box loaders that you can put down here. So if you guys are ready to get started with the tutorial, then go ahead and smack the like button for me and subscribe if you guys are new, and let's get started with the tutorial. And material lists will be down in the description. So to start things off, you are going to want to prepare yourself a chunk aligned area that is also sub chunk aligned. And if you don't know how to do that, then I have a tutorial up in the top right hand corner there for you guys to show you guys how to properly chunk align your builds. This should be the top of your sub chunk. See, as we're at Y64, and as you can see over here in our example, well, all of the redstone goes up from there. And no, you don't have to build this farm at Y64. Y64 just happens to be sub-chunk level. So to get things started, we're going to start out with the catch basin right here in the front of your farm. And so what we need to do to that is we need to go ahead and get to this point right here. So let's go ahead and head on over to your area over here. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to come across 4 blocks from the front left-hand corner of your chunk that you've laid out right here, and then go ahead and come up by 2 blocks off of it, and then 2 blocks in front, and then go ahead and put yourself in obsidian there and obsidian there. Once you've got that, you can go ahead and destroy all of your temporary blocks, and then we're going to take these out by 9 blocks, including the one there. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And then we're going to go ahead and take ourselves a temporary block, come to the side, and then do another 9 blocks. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And then out the back here, we can go ahead and come out with glass in this area. And we're going to go another 9 blocks out the back over here. On this side, we're going to bring this all the way out here. That's going to be 9 blocks as well. Go ahead and bring these up until they meet just like that. And then we need to go ahead and put ourselves a floor in down here. So go ahead and make this out of glass as well. And then fill all of this in just like this. And then once you have that all filled in, then we want to come up here and find the center. So go ahead and count 5 blocks in from the edge just like this, and then go ahead and count 5 more into the center just like that, and that should leave you with 4 on each side. Go ahead and break that block out. Go ahead and grab your obsidian, and you're going to want to replace that block, that block, that block, and this one over here just like that. Then once you have that in place, then go ahead and grab your water, place it in all 4 corners just like this, and you should see that it leaves the center open just like so. Once your catch basins look like that, then you can go ahead and come on underneath, and you are going to need to place yourself in a hopper in just like that, pointing down, and then a hopper pointing over just like this, and then you can go ahead and bring in some chests just like so underneath, or whatever you would like to do. You could put shulker box loaders down here or whatever, but this is going to make it a double hopper speed loader, so that way it'll go ahead and drain out fast enough. This farm does need to have double hopper speed, so whatever you have coming out of it definitely needs to go into 2 hopper lines just like this. And you're definitely going to want more storage than just 1 chest, so go ahead and make it as large as you like, or go ahead and add shulker box loaders like I said earlier. You guys can go ahead and click on the tutorial link. I also also left it down in the description, and I got a lot of cool things that you guys can put down there. That's pretty awesome. But now, once that's all done and you have your storage all in, next we're going to go ahead and get started in the redstone in the back. So on this side where you have the glass, we're going to go ahead and come 2 blocks in from the left, and we're going to go ahead and place ourselves in a green circuit block right in there, and we're going to go ahead and place ourselves in 3 more blocks in right here, just like so. Go ahead and grab yourself some purple blocks, and we're going to place ourselves in blocks just like this in the shape of a T. Then on the green circuits, we're going to go ahead and place ourselves in Redstone Dust. This is going to be our on circuit, the green circuit right here, and this is going to be our Bonemeal circuit for the red and blue Nylium, and since red and blue makes purple, that's why I'm making it purple, see? And so next we're going to go ahead and place ourselves in a redstone torch on the bottom there, and on top right there. Next we need to place ourselves in some redstone dust, and then a repeater set here on 2 ticks. Then what we can do from there is we need to go ahead and place ourselves in 2 temporary blocks. Place yourself in a dropper on the side of that one, and a dispenser on the side of that one, both facing up, and then destroy your temporary blocks. Once you have all this in place, next we're going to go ahead and place ourselves some Nylium blocks on top of this dispenser here. So go ahead and crouch place yourself a Nylium block on there. It could be red or blue, it doesn't matter. Whatever one you want to do is the one that you're going to be placing in here. And then on top of this Nylium block, we're going to be placing ourselves in a repeater just like that, okay? Then over here, we're going to go ahead and crouch place ourselves a hopper into the side of the bottom dropper down there. So go ahead and aim at it just like that, and then once you get it in there, that's looking good. Then we're going to place ourselves in 2 droppers facing upwards just like this, and then a dispenser up here at the top facing inwards just like that. Then right here off to the side, we're going to go ahead and place ourselves in a white block because this is for our bone meal, and that's going to get some redstone dust right there. Once you've got that in place, next go ahead and come behind your repeater, then go ahead and place yourself in a red block here. This is going to be our power circuit, so anytime that a tree grows, it's going to go ahead and go right through this repeater, right through the tree block, and then onto this side where we're going to go ahead and place ourselves in another block just like that with a bit of redstone dust on top of it like so. Go ahead and place yourself in another block here with a repeater down here set to 2 ticks. And then in front of that repeater, we're going to place ourselves in a block, and that's going to be our power circuit. And now right here on this side of your power circuit, on top of this green block, we're going to place ourselves in another green block, and this was going to have a button on it. This is going to be our on circuit, so since green means go, that's going to be the green circuit. And then right behind that, we're going to go ahead and place ourselves in a redstone lamp just like this with another button on it like so. You can take yourself a decorative block and place it in right there. This is going to be your entryway where you walk in to start planting fungus to start your farm. Then over here, we're going to take ourselves in a dropper just like this. Go ahead and crouch place it on the side of that repeater right here so it's facing inwards just like so. Then grab yourself a cyan block just like this, and that's going to be the circuit that gives us the fungus here so we can continue planting more and more fungus. And then once we have that in place, now we can go ahead and grab ourselves a piston. We're going to come right here on this side of that redstone lamp. We're going to put a piston in right there on this dispenser facing in just like so. Over here on this redstone torch, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to place ourselves in a piston going in just like that. Once we have that in place, then go ahead and grab yourself an observer and come around to this side. We're going to go ahead and place ourselves an observer just like that with the red dot facing in this direction. Anytime that redstone torch would go off, it'll push that piston. That observer is going to go into that white block right there, and then we are going to have another observer just like that, so that way when these two go together, they'll be looking at each other, and that'll pulse that over and over and over, giving us plenty of bone meal up here. So once you have this all in place, then let's go ahead and test out your circuits. Let's go ahead and press the green button here. When you press the green button, you should see that that piston gets pushed and the farm turns on, which is this guy lighting up. That'll go ahead and power this redstone here, which is powering your bone meal circuit. And then if we come back over here, we should be able to press in this redstone lamp button. If you do that, you should see that it gets pushed back over and the farm stops. Once you know this is working, then go ahead and grab your glass box, and we're going to go ahead and encase your AFK area. So let's go ahead and come over here to this redstone lamp. We're going to come up by a block right there, go ahead and come up by another one right there. Bring this out by 3 blocks in total out to the front here just like so. Then go ahead and come up just like this, and then come up another one like so. Go ahead and come up and over just like that, so that we have a 2 by 1 hole so that you can go ahead and come in just like so. Place yourself in a solid block right there, and then 2 more bits of glass covering up this. You can bring this up here just like so. Make sure that you leave this open so that you can actually get up here and change out your Nylium. Then what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and place ourselves in another glass block right there. And then when you change out this Nylium, you're going to want to make sure that you have glass on the side of it and right here. So that when it goes down in there, it never will go down into the catch basin. You don't want to have it go down there. So go ahead and bring this glass around your Nylium just like so. We're going to bring it around this side as well. And in case it's redstone, just in case it falls in right there, you can go ahead and grab it. And when you do change out the Nylium, yes, you do need to break this repeater. Place in your Nylium and then replace the repeater when you're done if you're going to be changing it back from red to blue. And then up here, what we can do is we can go ahead and place ourselves in a bit of glass right there, just like that. If it happens to fall in there, if you stand right in this corner, you will pick it up, so that's all right. And then place yourself in 1 more bit of glass right there. Once you have all this looking like this, then go ahead and grab your buttons here, and we need to come onto the inside and make sure that the wart blocks don't actually smash you in the AFK area. If you're in here, just right here, and the tree grows, and there happens to be that wart block that grows right where that button is, it will push you down into like the swimming mode animation, and you'll be stuck right here, and you won't be able to plant anything on your farm. So you do need a button there to keep it from growing. So go ahead and put something there, and I suggest a button because it's easy. And so once we have that in place, next we're going to grab our solid blocks here. We're going to come up by 16 on top of this block. So it's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16, just like that. You should have a big pillar just like that that's 16 blocks tall. We're going to go ahead and come on over here. We're going to place in 2 temporary blocks in right here, 1 up just like that. And we're going to do the exact same thing from that block up. So this is going to be 1, that's going to be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. You should see that those are exactly the same height. Then once you have that in place, grab some more buttons, place 2 in right here, and this will be kind of like your little entryway to the redstone out the back. So anytime that you're in the farm like this, AFK, you can go ahead and replace your Nylium. You can go ahead and get up over here, exit this area, and this will get you back into your redstone area. And now once your farm is looking like this, next we can go ahead and grab our sticky pistons. Next we're going to come to the back side of these blocks right here. We're going to place in a temporary block right there. We're going to place in 2 sticky pistons in right there just like so. We're going to do the same thing on this side. Go ahead and place in 2 sticky pistons just like this. Then once you have that in place, next we're going to go ahead and grab our observers. We're going to place our observers in just like this with the red dot facing in this direction just like so. Then across all 3 of these, we're going to place in ourselves 3 pistons in just like that. You need to go ahead and copy this 16 more times all the way to the top. And when you're done with that, it should look just like this. Once your piston wall is looking like this, next we need to go and come around back and wire up all of the redstone. First off, we're going to come right down here just below our pistons, place in a temporary block and place in a brown circuit block like this. It's going to be brown because it's going to be for the trees. So go ahead and place in 5 blocks in just like that. You can cover all of this with redstone dust. Next, we need to go ahead and come right back around the front here. We're going to break this dispenser temporarily. We're going to place ourselves in a sticky piston and then put that dispenser right back. That's going to go ahead and push the bottom of the tree forward. Then once we have that in place, next we need to go ahead and place in ourselves glass on top of here just like that with some blocks in it just like this. Once we have that in here, then we can go ahead and place ourselves in a solid block right there just like so. You're going to go ahead and cover all of this with redstone dust and then go ahead and repeat that all the way to the top. And when you're done with the redstone, you should see that your final blocks come all the way to the top of your pistons, just like that. Then once you have that in place, next we're going to take some more glass blocks. Go ahead and place a temporary block in right there, and you're going to fill in the gap just like that. And you're going to do that on all of these gaps down below. So it might actually be easier to go ahead and make yourself a whole pillar of glass right here, just like this, all the way down. Once you have that in place, then you can go ahead and break out these. Then you're going to break out the ones that where the blocks are, leave the ones where the redstone is. Go ahead and break every other block out, and then when you get done doing that, you can go ahead and cover all of these with redstone dust, and you should see that the redstone dust connects up and it'll link up all of the layers. Once your brown circuit is looking just like this, where all your pistons are all fully wired up, next go ahead and grab some orange blocks, and we're going to go ahead and come right over here just like this. This is going to be your TNT circuit. So next we need to go ahead and place ourselves in a repeater right here just like that. That's going to go right into a block like so. Then out to this side, we're going to place in ourselves another block with some redstone dust on top of it. In front of that redstone dust, we're going to have another block just like so. Then on this side, we're going to place ourselves in a copper bulb. You can wax it if you want to. It doesn't matter which stage it's in. Then on top of that one, we're going to place ourselves in another block just like this with a block down and a block back up just like that. Grab yourself a comparator and throw it in here just like so. Grab some redstone dust, place it in there just like this. Grab yourself a temporary block and place it in there just like so with a sticky piston on top of it, just like that right there next to that redstone dust. Then we're going to grab our slime blocks here. We're going to count up 5 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Once you get to the 5th block, grab yourself some more orange blocks. Place a temporary one in there and one right there. Then grab yourself an observer and place it in there just like that. Then you can break out your temporary block. Once you have that in place, then you can go up by 5 more blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then once you have that in place, go ahead and throw yourself in another observer right there. Grab yourself a temporary block and then one up just like that, and that'll be the beginning of your TNT circuits. Now, both of these circuits are going to be pretty much identical, so you can go ahead and copy whatever you do to the bottom one to the top one. So to get things started, we're going to go ahead and count out 5 blocks. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, just like that. At the 5th block, we're going to come over to this side just like so. Go ahead and put a temporary block and one up and over just like so. Grab yourself some redstone dust. Go ahead and cover all of this here just like so. Grab yourself a repeater, put it in there just like that. Over here, we're going to go ahead and place ourselves in a block just like so. Go ahead and get rid of that. Go ahead and leave that on 1 tick. Then over here on this side, we're going to place ourselves in a redstone torch. And then right above that, we're going to place ourselves in another redstone torch right here on top of that one. Then on top of that redstone torch, we're going to place ourselves in another block. You can go ahead and copy this to the top one. And just like that, your top circuit should be looking exactly the same as the bottom circuit. So once you have that in place, then again, we're going to go ahead and do another one to the bottom circuit that you can copy to the top circuit. We're going to go ahead and come down here. These are going to be glass blocks. I chose to make these glass blocks. However, you don't need to use glass. You can use solid blocks. I chose to use glass because this is going to be our TNT dropping area, and it's really cool to watch it. So I decided to use glass to make sure that you guys can go ahead and visually see it. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and come across here just like that. And we're going to go 1 block away from that redstone torch there. We're going to come back 1 block into here. This block does need to be a solid block, so go ahead and put that in there. Put yourself on a redstone torch and then another block on top of it, just like so. Go ahead and come back over here to this side. We're going to come over here to this gap here just like that. Then go ahead and come right across here like so. And if you need to, you can break that block out to get across over here in survival. You're going to come 3 blocks past the concrete here just like this. And then on this side, go ahead and place yourself on a temporary block with a target block right there, and then a redstone torch on top of it like so, with another block up here. Then go ahead and take your redstone dust, go ahead and go all the way underneath that gap, all the way to the other side, and you should see that that lights up and those torches now are turned off. Now go ahead and copy this up to the top circuit. And then once you have that complete, your top half should be looking just like this, exactly duplicate to the bottom half. So once you have that installed, next we're going to go ahead and come over here to this target block and the block right above it. We're going to take a dispenser, face it up right there, and another one right there. Then on the front of this block, we're going to go ahead and place another one right there. So you should have this like C shape out of these dispensers, all facing upwards just like that. So go ahead and grab yourself some hoppers here. We're going to go ahead and crouch place a hopper in to the back of that one, and another one right behind it just like that. So you have 2 hoppers coming out just like so. You're going to do that to all 3 of these. So go ahead and just go like this, 1 and 2 like that right there. And then we're going to do the same thing to this guy. Go ahead and put 2 hoppers into the back of him just like that. There we are. Then you're going to grab yourself some pistons, place on a piston in just like that, right there, and right there. Then grab yourself your TNT and go ahead and place in the TNT. You can use barrels, you can use chests, you can use shulkers, you can use pretty much whatever you want, and you can make this as big of a storage system as you want. So go ahead and make sure that all of your TNT gets funneled into this line of hoppers right here. And so I'm going to go ahead and take a shulker box of TNT and place it in back of each of those pistons right on top of that hopper right there. Then once we have that in place, next we're going to go ahead and place ourselves in some glass. So go ahead and go just like this and go just like that on the sides of the pistons. We want to make sure that we have glass right here too, because I have had issues where the TNT wanting to kind of glitch out of the glass, so I do recommend having that there. And then we're going to go ahead and go straight across just like this, just like that, and all the way right there just like so. Then what we can do is we can come right across here. We're going to go ahead and block that off. We can block this off, and then we can go right over here and block that off as well. And then we can block this one off right there just like that. Now we need to go ahead and do the same thing to the top. Then once you have that built up top, the top one up here, we're going to go ahead and cap this one off here. So we can go ahead and just place ourselves in a block in it just like that. That'll go ahead and close off the top. And then down here below, what we're going to do is we're going to carry these all the way up, 1, 2, and 3, underneath those droppers right there. So go ahead and make sure that that's a long continuous chute all the way down just like this to where the TNT is not going to come out of there. You can do that all the way around for all 4 of these and make sure that you have a solid tube so that your TNT goes straight down. Once you have that done for up here, come down below, and then on the sides of these blocks here, make sure that you have glass going up to the bottom of your dispensers here as well. So make sure that that's all in place just like so. Come right over here, do the same thing on this side and that side, and make sure that you have a long chute so that way your TNT gets pointed straight down. And as you can see, just for the video, I've gone ahead and made the TNT chute out of a different color glass. This is white, and the redstone bit of the glass is orange, so that way you can differentiate between the two. So nonetheless, we need to go ahead and move forward with the piston circuits. Next, we're going to go ahead and come over here to these pistons. We're going to place a solid block on top of each of those guys, just like this. And then what we need to do is we need to go ahead and get ourselves some repeaters. Go ahead and grab yourself a repeater. Put this one here on 2 ticks, just like that. Go ahead and put a block up, just like so. Go ahead and come in this direction. We're going to place a repeater on 1 tick right there. Another one on 1 tick right there. Place yourself in a block up, just like this, and then put yourself another repeater on 2 ticks. These 2 should be on 1 tick, these 2 should be on 2 ticks. And then once you have that in place, we're going to go ahead and come right around here. We can go just like this, 1, 2, 3, and just like that. So you have 4 blocks right here. Go ahead and grab 4 repeaters and put them all on 4 ticks right here, just like this. There we are. And then right here in the corner, go ahead and come up by a block here, and then place in a block in right here. Then go ahead and come up by another block right there, and you should see that that block will actually bring you right across over here to that redstone torch. Then go ahead and grab yourself a repeater, put this one on 2 ticks, and then put one right here on 4 ticks. And you should see that that goes all the way around to the very last piston, just like that. Go ahead and duplicate that up for the top. So now once your top circuit is all done just like this, then be sure to come over here to this side. We're going to take this repeater right here. We're going to go ahead and throw that one on 1 tick. Since it's a little bit higher, we need a little bit less delay because the TNT has to fall a little bit further. Once you've got that completed for the top half and the bottom half and everything's looking just like this, then let's go ahead and test out your TNT circuit. Next, we're going to come right on down here. Now go ahead and grab yourself a temporary button. This doesn't have to stay here. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and test this thing. So we're going to press this button here, and you should see that that piston raises up, that the TNT gets dispensed up top, and all of the TNT comes down just like that. We're going to test it one more time to make sure that the bottom circuit's working too, so we're going to go ahead and go just like that. That light turns off, the TNT gets dispensed, and then the TNT drops and blasts just like that. If that's not happening, then you need to fix it, and hopefully you didn't just blow your TNT up. So if you really wanted to, you could go ahead and double check if you think you might have done something wrong before you test it. Catch it before you test it so you don't do that. That'd be a good idea. So nonetheless, you are going to need to make sure that you maintain this amount of TNT in your system. You're going to want to make sure that these always have TNT in it. If they don't have TNT in it, then the blocks are not going to get blown up, and then you will break your farm. So make sure that you keep an eye on that every time you go AFK. And if some of you guys are crazy redstoners, then as I said earlier, I have some shulker box unloaders that you guys could totally use. And those are down in the description. I have a ultimate shulker box loading guide down there, and you guys could check out all the shulker box unloaders that you guys could go ahead and put right here. You literally could have shulker boxes upon shulker boxes of TNT getting loaded in here. Then you wouldn't really have to maintain it. It would be good for a really long time. And that link was up on the screen earlier in the video, and it's also down in the description for you guys' convenience. So next, now that we have this working, as long as you've tested it and you know that it's working, next we're going to go ahead and come on back down here, and we're going to get started on the redstone down here. So next we need to go ahead and take ourselves a signal coming from this brown circuit right here. Every time that this brown circuit fires, it's going to push all these pistons forward, which is going to push your nether tree forward. And we need to go ahead and take a pulse from that to restart the farm so it goes ahead and triggers again. So we're going to go ahead and come back to that block, and we're going to come back down here. We're going to connect that purple circuit up to right there. We're going to connect this up to there and down to here. So go ahead and take yourself a 4-tick repeater right there. Go ahead and come up by a block. We're going to go ahead and come out by 2 more just like this. Then go ahead and come up by 3. 1, 2, and 3, just like that. So that we have 3 blocks right in there. Then go ahead and place in a block right there, 1 right there, and 1 right there, and then you can break that one out. Once you have that in place, grab yourself some repeaters. Go ahead and place yourself in a repeater right there. Put that on 4 ticks. Go ahead and grab yourself some redstone dust there and there. Down here, go ahead and place yourself in another repeater right there. Put that one on 4 ticks. Place in a redstone dot right there with a repeater right here. Put that one on 4 ticks and 1 more bit of redstone dust right there. Once you have your purple circuit in place, that's all done and dusted. Next, we need to go ahead and come over here to the power circuit, which is going to be your red circuit. We're going to go ahead and pull a block out just like this, and the yellow circuit is going to be our pulse Shortener circuit. So we're going to go ahead and come out by 2 blocks right there. We're going to come up by a block and another one just like so. Then once you have that in place, we're going to go ahead and come up by a block to this direction, and then 1 down to this direction. Grab yourself a transparent block. We're going to put that right on top of that redstone, and that's going to go right up into a block just like this. Over down here, we're going to go ahead and come back here. Go ahead and place a block on the side there, and 1 down and 1 over just like this. Then go ahead and put yourself a redstone torch on the side. Grab your redstone dust. Go ahead and put that in all across here just like this, on top of all of these blocks. On top of this glass block here, we're going to put ourselves in a 3-tick repeater just like that. And then on this side, we're going to grab ourselves a sticky piston and a regular piston just like that. Then down here to the side, where we have this redstone torch, we're going to place ourselves in a sticky piston with an observer on its face just like this, with a piston on its face just like that. Then what we can do is we can take ourselves a block. We're going to go ahead and place this block in right there on the side. Then once you have that in place, next we're going to come right over here to this redstone dust. We're going to place in a glass block right there, 1 up just like that. We can break that one out. We're going to do the same thing right here. We're going to go 1, 2, and 3 just like that. Then you can break those 2 out. So you should have this staggering look just like this. Then go ahead and put redstone dust on top of all of these here just like so. Then once you have that in place, next you can go and grab yourself a solid block. You can place that in right here with a repeater on 3 ticks just like that. And then one more thing before we actually test this circuit, we need to go and grab some redstone dust and come over here to the brown circuit and actually place some redstone dust right in there like that. We forgot to do that earlier. Make sure you place some redstone dust on top of that piston underneath there just like that. And then to explain how this works, so that you guys know what's going on, basically what's going to happen is anytime a tree grows up here, it's going to go ahead and send power into the trunk of the tree. It's going to go right through into this redstone dust into our power circuit back here, which is then going to power all of this. This piston's going to get retracted, and that observer is going to go down. This circuit's going to come right up and over here. It's going to go up into the tree farm, which is going to push the tree forward, but at the same time, it's going to go ahead and power this piston back here. This sticky piston, which is going to push this piston forward, which will then get powered by this redstone, pushing this block into this piston. So that's going to go ahead and cut that circuit off. As you can see, if we go ahead and do just like that, you can see that that redstone gets cut off there just like that. And then before it goes back, what's going to happen is it's going to go ahead and cut the redstone signal off, which will retract all of your pistons, and then the circuit will depower. That will go ahead and raise this piston, which will then fire that observer, which will reset the circuit. So now that you know what it should do, let's go ahead and test out our system. What we're going to do is we're going to place ourselves in a block right here, simulating a tree. You should see that it gets pushed forward just like that. It all retracts, and then your TNT gets dropped down just like this. And if for some reason that's not happening, then you need to go around back here and maybe get a friend or a second account, test your system, and make sure that this is doing what it's supposed to. And then once you know your whole tree farm here is working, now we need to go ahead and put in some hoppers. These are going to be your main hopper lines for the entire farm. So first thing we're going to do is we're actually going to come right over here, and the farm is on since we tested it. So let's go ahead and turn it off. We're going to hit the button on top of that redstone lamp, and that should turn the farm off just like so. We're going to go ahead and come onto the backhand side of that dropper right here, right next to the cyan block. Go ahead and crouch place yourself in a couple hoppers right in here just like so. We're going to bring this all the way around back. We're going to bring that back by 8 hoppers. So that's 4 hoppers right there. We're going to go 5 just like this, and then 6, 7, and 8. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. That should be 8 hoppers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Just like that. Okay. Then this is going to be the line in which all the fungus comes to your farm right into this dropper. So I'm going to go ahead and top these with the magenta and cyan blocks. This is going to represent that this is our fungus line here. So let's go ahead and go just like this. And then right here underneath this observer here and this piston, when this observer goes down, it's going to power a solid block here, which will power that redstone, which we don't want that to happen. So make sure you put yourself a glass block right there or some type of non-transparent block that will cover the hopper. And that way it won't actually get powered to the redstone over there. And then go ahead and finish this off. Go ahead and bring all of your blocks on top of all of your hoppers here, just like so. That'll go ahead and represent our fungus line right there. Then once we have that in place, next we can go ahead and place 2 hoppers right to the sides of these 2 right here. We're going to go 2 hoppers leading in directly into those 2 hoppers just like so. Go ahead and grab yourself 2 temporary blocks and go ahead and place those in right here just like so. Break this one out and then go ahead and place yourself in 2 hoppers facing in this direction just like that. So that way those are facing outwards just like so. We're going to come back to these and you can leave these open because this is going to be where our items are flowing in. Next we need to go ahead and come on down here over here. We're going to go ahead and come right off of this dropper right there. You should see that there's a hopper down below there, and now we're going to go up here and we're going to continue a hopper line coming out of this one. So we're just going to come back by 7 hoppers in total. So let's go ahead and get that here just like so. And then that's 3, here's 4, and then 5, 6. Let's see here, that's a ghost hopper, 6. And then on the 7th one, like this, we're going to go ahead and put ourselves in a composter in here, just like this. We're going to take another hopper, we're going to lead it into the side right here, just like so, right into the side of that one, and put another composter in right there, just like so. So that way that should be looking just like that. Then once you have that in place, we're going to go ahead and take 2 hoppers right up here. Go ahead and take a hopper facing down here and a hopper facing down there. That'll be where the extra fungus goes into. That's not actually the fungus, it'll be all the other stuff that'll get rebone mealed and sent back into the system. Then once we have that in place, that should be 7 hoppers out. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Then we're going to take this all the way out to 11, so that's going to be 8, just like that. And then we have 9, 10, and 11. Once we get to the 11th one, we're going to go up by 3 more. So we're going to go 1, 2, and 3, and those should all be looking down into each other just like this. Grab yourself a dispenser, and we're going to come right up here just like this. We're going to go ahead and crouch place that in just like that, a dispenser facing straight up just like so. Then once we have that in place, we're going to go ahead and come off to this side. We're going to place in 6 hoppers going in this direction. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, just like that. And that'll be all of your main hopper lines dolling in. This is going to be your Bonemeal hopper line, so we're going to go ahead and take some white blocks here. We're going to go ahead and cover this up, and this is our Bonemeal circuit here. So these are going to be our Bonemeal lines coming in right here. So we're going to top this all off with white concrete, so we know that that's our Bonemeal hopper. So go ahead and bring these all the way across here just like that, and that should go ahead and do it. Once you've got all of your hopper lines laid out looking just like this, then go ahead and come over here to these 2 hoppers right here. These 2 hoppers we're going to program right now. We need to go ahead and program those for the fungus. So go ahead and grab yourself a Nether wart block, and then go ahead and grab yourself a warped wart block just like that, and they can be on different sides if you want them to. If you want the blue over there and the red over there, it doesn't really matter, as long as you program each one. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put ourselves in levers on these 2 blocks right here, and this is going to control which fungus that we get, either red or blue. And since over here in the front I put blue, I'm going to be locking the red one. So we're going to go ahead and lock the red one. That's going to be locking this hopper to where nothing can go in or out of it. And then this one, the blue fungus, will be able to go in. So now what we need to do is we need to go ahead and program all of it with item sorters. So we're going to go ahead and build 2 item sorters here. Go ahead and take yourself a cyan wool or cyan block and go ahead and come out by 3 blocks just like this. Go ahead and place one underneath, place one behind, and one under, and one in the front, and break that one out so you have this shape right here. Go ahead and duplicate that with the magenta blocks too. Go ahead and place those all in there just like so, so you have both of those shapes in there. Then grab yourself some comparators. Go ahead and put 2 comparators in right here. Cover the whole top with redstone dust all the way around. Then once you have that in place, grab yourself 2 repeaters. Go ahead and put one in there and put one in there. They should be facing this block right here. Then grab yourself some redstone torches, put those on the back right there, and now you have yourself an item sorter. Next, we need to go ahead and come up here. We need to go ahead and program these. This is going to be for your Crimson Fungus right here. So this is going to be your Crimson Fungus. What we're going to do is we're going to take ourselves 4 sticks. We're going to go ahead and place 1, 2, 3, 4 sticks in there, plus the 41 Crimson Fungus, just like that, and that's going to be on the red hand side. On the blue side, the warp side, we're going to go and do the same thing. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, and 4 with sticks, and then we're going to take ourselves Warped Fungus and we're going to place it in there. These blocks here, in both of these do not have to be 6. I suggest something that the farm won't produce, a fungus farm, and so 6 are something that they don't produce, and that'll keep this working forever. And then at any time, if you wanted to switch up the fungus that you're using, if you wanted to go from blue to red, then you need to switch out your blocks. And then all you'd do is you would unlock the red one, you'd relock the blue one. You could empty out your entire line up here. Just go ahead and grab all of the fungus coming up from here, and then it'll just be empty, waiting for the red one to produce. And then once it's empty, it'll start producing more fungus. It'll bring all the red fungus into you until it's ready to go. And as soon as you see fungus coming into this dropper, you are ready to go. You do not need to wait for this to fill up. As you have fungus coming in of the color that you want, then you're ready to start planting. Of course, you're going to need to change out your Nylium, which I said earlier in the video. You also need to change out the Nylium that's going to be in the farm as well, which we're about to build. But first, we need to go ahead and build the circuit that's going to turn it on. So anytime that this hopper line right here, this hopper is the last hopper in line to this dropper, anytime this hopper is empty, we're going to want to make sure that that farm turns on to get us some more fungus. So we're going to put a block right there, just catty corner to that hopper, and we're going to take an output from that hopper with a comparator. Then we're going to take ourselves a sticky piston, place it sideways in there just like that, so that comparator is going right into that sticky piston. Then on the downward side of this, we're going to place ourselves an observer with the red dot pointing down just like that. Then grab yourself another block. We're going to put it on the bottom of that. And what's going to happen is anytime items are inside this hopper, it's going to power that comparator, powering this piston. It's going to extend this piston, and whenever it's empty, it's going to retract, and it's going to send power down into this block. From this block, we're going to go ahead and come down below, place a temporary block and one more down below, and break that one out. Then this is going to go ahead and come out by 5 blocks in this direction. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, just like that right there. Once we're there, we're going to go ahead and come out by 6 more blocks. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, just like that, and one more out to this side as well. Then grab yourself a repeater. We're going to place that repeater here on 4 ticks. Grab redstone dust, and we're going to cover the rest of these, leading all the way back up here to the very end, just like that. Once we have that in place, we're going to come back over to here to this repeater. We're going to put a block up just like that, one out on this side and one out on that side as well. Then we can break out the temporary one underneath. Then we need to go ahead and place 2 blocks on top of this one and one just like that. We're going to grab ourselves a redstone torch there, and on top of here. Then down here, we need to go ahead and place ourselves in it 3 more blocks, 1, 2, and 3. Place 2 more over here. Then once you have that in place, grab some redstone dust, place it here and there. Grab yourself 4 comparators, place 2 in this direction going into that block, and then turn around, place 2 in this direction going around there. Once you have that in place, next we're going to come up here to this block. We're going to place another block on top of this one, and this torch should be out. As long as you know that that one's out, then I believe that you've built this pretty much correctly. Then once you have that in place, next we're going to go ahead and place a block on this side of that redstone torch, just like that. And this farm right here, this should be even with your hopper line. That torch should be right there with your hopper line, because there's going to be blocks going back and forth up here, and they're going to be toggling from this position right there back to this position, and then back on forth, and anytime that torch is on, it's going to send power out into this redstone right here. That's going to go ahead and go up into a block right here, and one more up right here, just like so. That redstone's going to go up and over across, just like so. We can break out that block. That was just an example, just to show you the blocks are coming. And then we're going to go ahead and count 5 blocks, including this one. So we're going to put 4 more. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we should have 5 blocks in total right here. Go ahead and cover all of these with redstone dust, just like so. Then we're going to grab our pistons. We're going to put some regular pistons all the way across right here. Go ahead and put 5 across, just like so. Then once we have that, we're going to need 7 blocks in between. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, just like that. Once we have 7 blocks in between, place 2 more, break this one out, grab yourself a piston and place it in there just like that. Then over here, we can go ahead and place in ourselves 5 pistons, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then that's the 5th one. what we can do is we can break out all of these temporary blocks now. These were just for measurement. And then once we have that in place, whoops, I broke out that block as well. We're going to go ahead and place ourselves in a block right here on the side of that guy and replace that redstone there. That should look just like that. So now we need to go ahead and do that right there to this side as well. So we're going to go grab ourselves 5 blocks right across here. Go ahead and place yourself in some redstone dust on top of all of those. Go ahead and come over to the other side, and we're going to duplicate this block and the rest of this redstone right here. So go ahead and place yourself in a block right there, just like that, just like this side. Go ahead and step down a block just like so. And then once you have that in place, we're going to go ahead and place ourselves in a temporary block here, one down below, and break that one out. Grab yourself a torch, place it in there, and then grab yourself some redstone dust and connect that up to the top dust. Once you have all of that redstone in place, next we're going to go ahead and come over here to our center dispenser here. Go ahead and crouch place yourself a couple of blocks on this side. We're going to go 1 and 2 just like that. On this side, we're going to go ahead and go 1 and 2 just like so, and then go ahead and put 2 more over here. You should see that you're 1 block away from your pistons on this side, and that you're 1 block away from your pistons on this side. And over here, we're flush with the end, just like that. And if we went 2 blocks over here, we're also flush with the end. So go ahead and place in 2 blocks in here just like so, 2 more blocks over here just like that, and then go ahead and fill these corners in just like so, just like that. So we have a 5x5 area underneath right here of blocks, just that way this is going to be the floor. So if you knock out any of the blocks while you're changing out the Nylium, they don't go falling down below, and neither do you. Right here next to the dispenser, what we're going to need to do is we're going to go ahead and place ourselves in a Nylium block right there. You need to come on down below here. We're going to knock out these 2 blocks right here next to the hoppers right here. We're going to place in those right there. Go ahead and place in yourself an observer with the red dot facing down just like this from below, and then go ahead and place yourself in an observer. Make sure the red dot is not facing down, that it is facing over into the dispenser here just like that. You should see that the arrow is facing in that direction. That is going right into that dispenser there. Then once you have that in place, now we're ready to cover the rest of this with Nylium. So go ahead and take whatever color you want. You can go ahead and go right over that torch right there. We're going to bring that all the way across here like so, and we're going to bring it all the way to this point right there. We're not going to go into this area yet, and so we're going to go ahead and just come across here like so. Go ahead and cover all of that, and then once you get all that done, the 2 blocks that you'll be changing out for the Nylium will be these 2 blocks right there. So go ahead, and if you want to do like I've done and make it 2 different colors, so you know which 2 blocks they are, you totally can do that, but they're going to be the center block in the farm, which is going to be this one, and the one to the left, which is going to be the side where the Nylium is kicked over, which is closest to your farm right there. So those 2 blocks are going to be the blocks that you interchange, which really are the center 2 blocks of the farm right here. And so now that we have that done, if you wanted to switch colors of your Nylium, then you could just go like this. You could break that block out and break that block out, and you could change it to red if you want to, or you could change it back to blue, however you want to do it. Make sure that you do that and you replace those 2 blocks. So if you're going to do red, then you would flick the blue lever down, the red lever up. The one that's up is the one that's going to be getting sucked into the system. And then you're going to go ahead and clean out all of your blue or whatever color fungus that you have. You could put these in a shulker box or somewhere, some storage area that you have. And then you're going to let it refill with the color fungus that you want to switch to. And then of course you're going to want to come up here. You're going to break this repeater right here. You're going to break these 2 Nylium blocks right there, and then place in some red ones or blue ones, whatever one you're switching to, and then be sure to put your repeater back. Once you have that done, your farm has been fully switched over, so that way you can do the different Nylium blocks. So we'll do it again because I want to stay on blue. So we're going to come to the center of the farm. We're going to do this one and that one. So that's how you know it's the 2 center blocks in the farm. We're going to go ahead and turn blue back on. We're going to turn red off. Then we're going to come back down here. We're going to empty out all of our fungus that the farm has produced. We're going to put that in our storage area, and we're going to let it refill with blue fungus. Then we're going to break these 2 out just like this. We're going to put a Nylium there and Nylium there, and replace our repeater just like that. That is a full change of the farm from red to blue Nylium, and so therefore you can see how every single time you want to change, that's the process that you're going to need to do. So now that we have the farm in place, we need the flushing system. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and add some waterways to this thing. And first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and come right over here. This can be any decorative glass block of your choice. We're going to go ahead and place in a glass block right here. We're going to place in glass there and across here just like that. You can go ahead and go in there. If you've broken a glass block, make sure to get that one out. And then you go ahead and make sure that those hoppers are empty just like so. And then bring this all the way back to these hoppers right here. Once you get to this hopper, we're going to go ahead and turn the corner just like that. We're going to come across here just like so. On the side of this blue Nylium block, we're going to go ahead and just go just like this. And that's a warped block is what that is, not a blue Nylium block. We're going to go ahead and come across here just like that. Go ahead and enclose this entire thing just like so. Grab yourself some water and go ahead and place it in there. You should see that it turns the corner, goes over that first hopper, and leaves that last hopper undone. Once you have that in place, go ahead and grab some more glass. Go ahead and bring this across, all the way across the top here just like so. Bring this all the way back here, and we're going to go ahead and leave the last block open just like that. So go ahead and bring this up here just like so. Now that we have the waterway that's going to bring the fungus over the hoppers and into the bone mealing system, next we're going to want to make sure that all of the fungus that grows on here gets flushed right down into this hole. So to do that, we're going to go ahead and come across here just like that, all the way to the end of those blocks right there. Over here on this side, we're going to come up by 3 blocks just like that. You should see that that comes up by 3 blocks. Over here, we're going to step out to the side here just like that. And we're going to do the same thing, come up by 3 blocks just like so. Once you have that in place, then we're going to go ahead and come out by a block here. Go ahead and bring this all the way across here just like so, all the way across. Grab yourself a button, place that in right in the center there. Grab yourself some water, place water in there, and place water in there, and you should see that that's now going right into the center just like so. Once you have that in place, then go ahead and bring this up by 2 more blocks just like this. So now you have this whole wall in place. Then you're going to want to grab some more buttons. Go ahead and place 5 buttons on the front of here. That's going to ensure that your water up here isn't going to flow into this area. You want it to just stop at the edge there. Then we're going to grab some more blocks. We're going to go ahead and come across here, across the top here, just like this. And once you have that in place, it should look just like this. And then once you have that done, we're going to turn right around 180 degrees, and you should see this hopper line coming out by 4 more blocks. We're going to go and crouch place some blocks on top of this. This is going to go ahead and cover the hopper line just to make sure that no items get into it. And we're going to use white because this is our bone meal hopper line. And then off this hopper line, we're going to go ahead and come up by 2 glass blocks just like that. We're going to place 2 more glass blocks on this side and 2 more on that side. Then go ahead and grab yourself some observers. You're going to go ahead and come over here. Go ahead and place yourself an observer with the red dot facing down on that second glass block right there, and do that on each side. So we're going to come right over here as well, place in an observer just like that, and then get yourself out and over. Then grab yourself a dispenser. We're going to go ahead and place a dispenser in underneath that facing in this direction just like that. Go ahead and do the same thing right here, another dispenser just like so. Now we need to go ahead and enclose this with glass. So we're going to go ahead and bring glass all the way around here just like this on these sides right here. That should go ahead and make yourself a nice little square just like that. And then up here, what we can do is we can go ahead and get ourselves right up here. What we're going to want to do is we're going to want to go ahead and place this block in there just like that. You should hear that that dispenser clicks. Go ahead and place that block in there just like so, and then place this block in there as well. And then we're going to place ourselves in redstone torches right here. Once you have both of these in place, then go ahead and come into your dispensers, put yourself in a bucket of water in each of these. Once you have that done, then go ahead and continue grabbing your glass. You can go ahead and bring these walls up too high just like this. Go ahead and do that on both sides. And then when you have that done, go ahead and cover the top all the way. And when you're done, it should look just like that. And then once you have this complete, you guys can pretty much add a door anywhere you guys want to get in and out of here to replace your Nylium. So go ahead and add a door if you guys would like. It doesn't really matter where you put it. You don't even need a door. You could just break the glass out, put in the Nylium, and then replace the door. And I would probably do that because it looks better with no door in it, just like this. But if you guys really wanted to, you guys could put a door in it. I just wouldn't put a door back here. So anywhere around the other sides, you can totally do that. And I would probably not do it where you have one of the buttons over there either. So if you guys would like to, you guys can totally do that. But now we need to go ahead and hook up this blue circuit here. This is going to be our water flushing circuit. This is going to wash the whole farm off and bring all the fungus down into our water line there. And so now we need to hook it up. So let's go ahead and grab ourselves a sticky piston. We're going to come right to this side right here, and we're going to come on down to this torch right here. You should see that it's right next to the hopper, and we're going to go ahead and take an output from it right here with this sticky piston. And so you should see that that it extends, go ahead and place yourself in an observer block with the red dot facing up just like that. Go ahead and place in it 3 blocks like that, break out the middle one, and place yourself in a torch there and a torch there. On top of this block, go ahead and place in it 2 more blocks just like this, with a block in front just like that. Grab yourself a 4-tick repeater, place it in there like this, and then grab yourself some redstone dust. Out the back here, we're going to go ahead and place in a couple blocks there and a couple blocks there, and then right here we're going to go ahead and place in a temporary block there, and just like this, and you should have what looks like a giant W. Once you have that in place, next we're going to go ahead and grab ourselves some comparators. Go ahead and put a comparator there and a comparator there. Do the same thing out the back this way. Now we're going to go ahead and grab ourselves some redstone dust, put it on top of these, and put it on top of those. And then once you have this in place, next we need to go ahead and come on down here, and before we test our circuit, we are going to need to remove this block on top of that piston. That's a solid block, and we need it to be a transparent block, so I'm going to put a piece of glass there with a dot of redstone dust, and then that way it won't power that piston, otherwise it's going to do all kinds of crazy things. So now that we have that in place, next we need to go ahead and test our water circuit. So go ahead and grab yourself a redstone torch, and this torch beneath that piston right there, you can go ahead and break it out there just like this, and you should see that your floor is shifting back and forth like this. That's all doing correctly. Then when you put the torch back, you should see that everything stops, the water gets dispensed, and then in a few seconds it gets retracted. Sometimes when you start your floor, you're going to notice that it'll get off-centered, and that's perfectly fine. It doesn't really matter, just as long as this block is right here, which it will always be right there, because this torch is always on, and this is the side that actually makes this whole circuit work. Sometimes it'll do that, sometimes it won't, and as you can see, if we come on down here and we test it again, you can see that more than likely it'll go ahead and go back to its normal state. It just sometimes randomly does that. And so don't worry, your farm's not broken if that happens. Next, we're going to need to go ahead and come around to this very last hopper back here on this side. And next, we need to go ahead and place ourselves in a couple temporary blocks off the back side of this guy. We're going to come off at 3 temporary blocks just like that. Go ahead and break these 2 out. Grab yourself a sticky piston, place it in there just like that. You should see that it's facing that hopper right there. Then we're going to grab ourselves a glass block. We're going to come down here just like this. Go ahead and break that one out and grab yourself some redstone dust. Under here is going to be a waterway, so we're going to be using glass so you can see the items flowing through underneath the glass. Then over here, we need to go ahead and grab ourselves a solid block. We're going to place that on top of that redstone dust. On top of this piston here, we're going to throw ourselves in a comparator just like that. Once we have that in place, next we're going to need to go ahead and place ourselves in a block up just like this in front of that comparator, like so. Then we can grab ourselves a piston. We can throw it up here just like this with an observer on its face just like so, with the red dot facing in this direction. Then once we have that done, go ahead and grab yourself a block on the side here and put yourself in a 4-tick repeater. 1, 2, 3, and 4, just like that. Grab yourself another block and go ahead and come up by 2 and break that one out, and then that way that repeater is going into this block. Then grab yourself an observer, or a sticky piston. Go ahead and come right on through there. Come to this side, and we're going to place ourselves in an observer with the red dot facing to the side, just like this. Then once you have that in place, go ahead and place yourself in a block right there. Come around to the other side, and then grab yourself a dispenser. Come on down below, and place it in there just like that, so it's catty corner with this hopper right here. Once you've got your dispenser in place, then go ahead and come around to this side, and then on this side, we're going to come right here to this block, this piston, and that block, and we're going to place in 3 more blocks just like that. Then grab yourself a comparator, place it in there just like so. When you have that done, go ahead and grab yourself a sticky piston with an observer, and the observer is going to have the red dot facing right towards that block right there. And then once you have that done, that is your shulker box unloader pretty much done. We just need to build the waterways and enclose this thing with glass. So go ahead and grab your glass. We're going to come underneath this dispenser here. We're going to go ahead and place a glass block on the bottom of it, just like this. And then we're going to place a glass block on this side and a glass block on that side. Then go ahead and do the same thing coming down one more time, just like this. And you can go ahead and bring that all the way here to that glass right there. And next we need to go ahead and place ourselves in a dot of glass right here, just like that. And then we can place a temporary one here and one down below, just like so. just like that. So you have this little step there. Then below that, we're going to go ahead and grab ourselves some packed ice. Go ahead and come on down one more, just like that. Then you can go ahead and take these blocks, go ahead and bring this all the way across here, just like so. You can bring that all the way to where it's matched up with this guy. Then over here, do the exact same thing. So we're going to place in a temporary bit of glass there. We're going to go ahead and bring this up here just like so. Go ahead and bring it up to the hopper line just like that. Go ahead and bring this all the way up on both sides, all the way down just like so. Right here in front of this hopper, go ahead and place one more bit of glass there to enclose your area where the shulker box will actually be getting unloaded. Then once you have that done, then go ahead and finish up your walls down here. Go ahead and bring these all the way across. And then what we could do is we can bring the glass or the packed ice all the way out here, just like this. Once you get to 8 blocks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Go ahead and place a 9th block and place yourself in a button there, and you can extend your glass all the way down to your superior moss farm, wherever your bone meal is going to be coming from. And so this will send a shulker box of bone meal, actually an empty shulker box, back to your bone meal farm to get refilled with more bone meal. So this is going to be your send back line for your shulker boxes. So now that we have that in place, go ahead and grab yourself a bucket of water. Go ahead and break out this glass block here directly underneath here and place yourself in a water bucket right there and replace that bit of glass, and you should see that it flows all the way down just like this. That should be underneath the second hopper, should be flowing down under the first hopper, and then going down and around just like that. And to be quite honest, you could actually take these 2 bits of glass out here just like that, underneath that piston, and then place just one under there like that. That'll actually work. That's just one less glass block if you don't want to put those there. But nonetheless, you're going to go ahead and hook this up to your bone meal farm. This is going to be your shulker box return station. These are going to be empty shulker boxes going back to your bone meal farm to get refilled with more bone meal. So go ahead and hook it up to that point. And then once you have that done, next we're going to go ahead and come over here to this side. We're going to come to the dispenser right here. We're going to grab ourselves a hopper and we're going to throw it in the side like that, just right there. And once you have that in place, then we're going to take some glass here. Go ahead and throw a glass in right there. Go ahead and take a temporary block and throw some glass in there just like this. Then grab yourself some packed ice. We're going to go ahead and come out by 2 blocks on this side right there. You can go ahead and bring the glass out just like this on the sides and on top there like so. Then once you have that done, leave this block out right here. We're going to come up by 6 more blocks. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Then go ahead and place a 7th block and put a button on it just like that. Then once you have that in place, go ahead and bring your glass all the way down to the end here, just like so. Go ahead and put temporary blocks in if you need to go ahead and carry the glass around the corner. Then go ahead and bring your glass on top just like that. Then once you have that in place, you can go ahead and throw yourself in a bucket of water there. You should see that it goes out and around the corner and stops right there at the hopper. It'll go ahead and feed all of your full shulker boxes of bone meal back into your shulker box loader here. So once you have that done, then you're going to need to go ahead and grab yourself a redstone torch right here, some redstone dust, and you're going to want to continue that all the way to your moss farm, wherever you're getting bone meal from. And then once you have that in place, you are going to need some more repeaters as well to make sure that that signal continues on down nice and strong all the way to your moss farm. Right here in the example, I'm going to show you how this thing works. And in your superior moss farm, I have a dropper where all of your shulker boxes of bone meal come to, and it gets spat out into this water stream wherever you have your moss farm. And so this is going to simulate that dropper, and I've only added 16 bone meal to these shulkers, so it's going to react rather quickly. And as you can see here, our redstone is not on that yet, and that's because the entire system is empty. I've cleared it all out, so we're going to replace that white glass there. Then once you have that done, if your farm is empty, this redstone should be on, so there's no bone meal in the system, and that means that it's calling for a shulker box to bone meal. So if I connect this up here like this, you guys can see that one shulker box is going to get dispensed out. It's going to go into the system. It's going to call for a second shulker box rather quickly until the system has a shulker box in it now. So now there's a shulker box getting unloaded, and there's a shulker box in the system. So if we go ahead and empty a couple of these out here, let's go ahead and empty out some of this bone meal here so it can actually flow into the system. You'll see that when it gets empty, after 16 pieces have gone, it's going to go ahead and break the shulker box and replace a new one. And as you can see out the back, it's going to go ahead and call for another one here, just like this. So now that one's empty. It's going to get dispensed a new one. It's going to grab a new one from your moss farm and replenish the system. So These would be full shulker boxes of bone meal, and they would last a lot longer than just 5 seconds. But nonetheless, you can see how the return station as well, when the shulker boxes get broken, they get sent back to your moss farm in here, and the empty shulker boxes end up back in your moss farm. If your moss farm ever becomes empty, where you have no more bone meal in it like this, then you will need to go ahead and run it for a little while. And when it does, you'll need to reset the system, where you go ahead and just trigger the dropper that's inside of it one more time just by doing that, and it'll send the shulker boxes wherever it needs to go. So now that you know how this hooks up to your superior moss farm, I'm going to go ahead and just throw a couple of shulker boxes in the system, so that way we have some bone meal in there to go ahead and test this out with. And this is going to take a little bit for the bone meal to go ahead and fill up here. As you see, it's going to go ahead and go through the system just like this, and it's going to load up into all of your dispensers and droppers all throughout the system. And if you would like to help this process along, then you can go ahead and come down here to the end of the hopper line. You should see that this dropper right here is getting filled with bone meal. Go ahead and fill it all the way up with extra bone meal if you have some in your inventory, and then go ahead and fill this dropper up here too. This is also going to fill up, so go ahead and fill this in with bone meal as well. And then once you have that full just like that, it's going to continue to go ahead and drain throughout the system, and these hoppers will fill up by themselves, and the farm is pretty much ready to use. You can use it even though that the bone meal isn't completely full. It'll go ahead and fill up by itself either way. And oh boy, am I ever bad. I got my second account on. He started planting fungus and actually stopped because he's in survival mode, and I actually forgot to wire up that dropper there. That gives you more fungus. So when you actually need to continue doing that, you will need to remove any blocks that are right here in this area, right in between here. If any of these tree blocks have grown here, make sure that you can get down in here into this area. We need to go right in between this yellow and blue circuit here by this piston. We're going to take a cyan block or like this. We're going to go ahead and place that in there just like so. Grab yourself a repeater, put it in there on one tick just like that, going from the yellow block to the blue block. And then underneath that cyan block, we're going to add ourselves a redstone torch, and now that system should work. And with that completed, your farm is now fully functional. And I have a second part to this tutorial that explains how to test this thing. If you guys are confident that it's going to work, then go ahead and just click off the video. You guys can just continue to use your farm. But if you guys want to fully test it, make sure that everything's working, I have a second part of the tutorial, and that link is somewhere on the screen. Just go ahead and click it at the end of the video. It's like right there. Can't you see it? It's right there.